renal failure in Nevis and I'm yet to find it.
Be a part of the debate.
What he needs to do is to allow the people to do their work in accordance with the relevant legislation, and he must not overreach. Because when he makes those suggestions, he is, in a sense, misleading the population here.
Speak your mind. Defend your country. Call in. Numbers to call: 869-669-7312. That's 869-669-7312 or 917-460-2187. That's 917-460-2187. On target here on 2020 Vision Radio every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. On target. Be a part of it. On target.
So I'm your host, Kelvin Daly, and I thank you for joining us once again.
Join the conversation.
I looked at it on Facebook and I read the speech and I'm trying to find out what is the commitment to renal failure in Nevis and I'm yet to find it.
Be a part of the debate.
What he needs to do is to allow the people to do their work in accordance with the relevant legislation, and he must not overreach. Because when he makes those suggestions, he is, in a sense, misleading the population here.
Speak your mind. Defend your country. Call in. Numbers to call: 869-669-7312. That's 869-669-7312 or 917-460-2187. That's 917-460-2187. On target here on 2020 Vision Radio every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. On target. Be a part of it. On target.
So I'm your host, Kelvin Daly, and I thank you for joining us once again.
Join the conversation.
I looked at it on Facebook and I read the speech and I'm trying to find out what is the commitment to renal failure in Nevis and I'm yet to find it.
Be a part of the debate.
What he needs to do is to allow the people to do their work in accordance with the relevant legislation, and he must not overreach. Because when he makes those suggestions, he is, in a sense, misleading the population here.
Speak your mind. Defend your country. Call in. Numbers to call: 869-669-7312. That's 869-669-7312 or 917-460-2187. That's 917-460-2187. On target here on 2020 Vision Radio every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. On target. Be a part of it.
One thing, we want we land. We want we say. Everybody student, we going hold on today. descendants, we going hold on today. To keep out our curry, don't come to play. Leave his people rise up, we not give it way. We want we land, we want we say. For our descendants, we going hold on today. To keep out our curry, don't come to play. Leave his people rise up, we not give it way. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Let us put our hands together for Pupa Wheeler.
Bringing in a passe, bringing them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. If you don't know, I want in you. When I bang them, they go ball foul. Talking about irregularities, boy. They go be up and down balling. The pattern don't pick come in. Boy, heading south. I'm bringing in East Indians. Boy, from the north, mi amiga and amigos. Como esta bienvenida. La vida es fiesta. Bring them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me, boy. I go be mashing down the complex. Yes, if they don't crown me king, boy, I don't really like the doctor placing the campus suicide bomber, boy. Bringing them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. Anything you want, you go get, boy. I'm mixing up the soca with some Hindi and some rumba, chutney and la bandera. ID no necessary, boy. Whisker lips a mercenary. Bringing them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. Maintain your impulso. Total zombie and beater. Take it away. Local fans decreasing. Why? By the numbers they keep dropping. Enough of them don't shout no more like they used to shout before. Boy, these grunting fans they crumbling about promise songs. Fail on delivering. Boy, start song and can't finish it. It's standard English, singing stupendous nonsense. Why don't you sing a song and dance again? Tell me what happened to me fair share when the money disappear. Ooh yeah, boy. Stuart, if in question here, bringing them to shout for me. I wanted to roar for me. Rocking down the complex. Yes, if they don't crown me king, boy, I don't really like the doctor placing their campus suicide bomber. Bringing them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. I'm gonna be mashing up the complex. Yes, if they don't crown me king. Boy, I do it like the doctor. Placing your cup a suicide bomber. Boy, bring it up to shout for me. I want it to roar, boy, roar for me. Anything you want, you go get. Boy, I'm mixing up the soca with some Hindi and some rumba, chutney and la bandera. I didn't know necessary. Boy, we got lips of mercenary. Bring it up to shout for me. I want it to roar, boy, roar for me. Maintain your impulso. Todo zombie and Peter. Boy, take it away. Airlines. See bridge and see taxi. Bring it them to shout for me. I want them to roar, boy, roar for me. You don't know. You got to spend big money if you wanna win monarchy. I go got the diaspora. 420 in my corner, boy, share the life, boy. Press like, subscribe, sharing. All here in the diaspora's king. Your king go be knocking down your airport, knocking down Brooklyn, down hospital walls. Boy, training geothermal. Let the Jewish people sing the song. These Hebrew boys don't understand. Betty, that is loud for me. I want it to roar, boy, roar for me. I'll be rocking down the complex. Yes, if they don't throw me king, do it like the doctor, president, compass, suicide bomber. Bringing them to shout for me. I want it to roar, boy, roar for me. Anything you want, you go get. Yes, I'm mixing up the soca with some Hindi and some rumba, chutney and la bandera. I did not necessary. Please got lips of mercenary. Boy, bring it up to shout for me. I want it to roar, boy, roar for me. Mantener el impulso. Todo zombie and mira. Keep the momentum. Everybody is welcome. Thank you.
Papa Wheeler.
One thing, we want we land. We want we say. Everybody to that we go and hold on today.
Good afternoon, and forgive my lateness. There were some minor issues we had to do to adjust the cameras to make sure that our two co-hosts are nice and looking lovely. And so let me say good afternoon to all of you who have taken time out of your busy Saturday schedule to be with us. It is nothing that we take for granted, and so I do thank you very, very much. If you're on FM Dial, YouTube, Twitch, and of course on the Facebook feed, thank you for being present. If you're in the diaspora, of course, many of you are, thank you for taking the time and energy to sit down through a lot of information, because every Saturday we come and we say we don't know what we're going to talk about next, but we always find something to talk about. Anyway, let me say good afternoon to all those who made podium today. 5 persons, of course, made podium. And Ingrid Daniel Farrell, again, number 1 on top. And followed very closely by Charlene Jeffers over there in St. James. Number 3, Marcella Barbecue Jones, BQ Jones down there in St. Thomas. And the man himself, Burl Jones. And then we have the beautiful queen out of Government Road, now living in Canada, Marcy Yelner, number 5. And following close behind that, the best dressed man on Nevis, I maintain that until I die, Patty Patterson. And your mic is off for a reason. Liddy Penny Liebert is coming up, and then the man himself, Oral Joseph. I saw some pictures of Oral Joseph. That guy is dapper. He is giving Patty a challenge. That guy, hat, suit, everything matches. I didn't know that was the kind of guy he is, because I think he was attending a graduation for either a grandson or a granddaughter. I can't remember now, but you need to tone it down, man. You're making everybody look bad around you, Oral. Oral is too well dressed. Good afternoon to Oral. Dolgia Doll Penny down there on St. Kitts, my number 1 fan, of course. And you have Rosalind Brown is in the house, and so is my queen over there in Cotton Ground, Cecile Hobson. And then they have the man himself, the tomato grower of Nevis, Tamaki Saladid. And followed very closely by another queen out of St. James, Gigi Williams Skeet is in the house. And so is Elvis Leslie and nurse Dion Flanders. I think she's off today. Since she's tuned in and locked in, I think she's off today. So I hope you had a restful, uneventful evening up there at the Alexander Hospital. All right, and then we have Sharon Stapleton all the way over there in Boston. She's in the house, similar to Ovaltine Jeffers, another Jeffers. You know, I'm a Jeffers by mother's side, Tulu. Yeah, my mother, No, I'm not related to Alexis at all. He's on the wrong side of the Jeffers over there. So, yeah.
The Jeffers are from Scotland.
Yeah, my Jeffers are good Jeffers.
No, he Jeffers the red Jeffers.
Bullis claim all bike man.
All bike man. So
Okay.
all Jeffers are Jeffers.
No. All Jeffers are in Jeffers. Hildred Davis up there in Mountain Village is in the house, and so is Gemini Nisbet all the way up there in Canada. And so is Loretta Tyson and Norma Jean down there in St. Martin. Good afternoon, Norma. Iva, the Boom Master Henry up there in Georgia is in the house, and so is Rhonda Brown by way of St. Martin, by way of Nevis, by way of Florida. She is a nomad, and she's somewhere else in the world. I don't know. I guess she's in Florida right now. Jutzel Barton is in the house, and so is Jeanette Grellhall over there in Budgeon. And we have Jam Forbes, and Jam Forbes loved the horns in I'll Want Me Land. She liked them horns.
Oh, she loved the horns?
She loved the horns. I don't know. These supposed to be good Christian folk, Them Forbes people from the old hospital road. Grew up in the church. And she talking about she liked the horns. Move on. Maurice Saran. Good afternoon, your queen. Paul Pemberton and the queen herself down there in St. Thomas, Delicious Dillis Brown. And another queen, Vilena Ali, is with us. And so is Dee Keynes up there in New York. Bernadette Tyson, I said twice. So you mean that you're very special. Of course you are. And Who else we have? I think that's it for now. And so, let me say good afternoon to my two co-hosts, Tulu Weeks, the mayor of Hamilton, of course, Danny Hensley Daniel. He shocked me by coming early today. And the wind is blowing out to the north, and so...
So as a fisherman, when the wind blows out to the north...
It never does. It never does. Unless it's a hurricane, it never does.
Special wind?
Special wind. But we have one late birthday, and I didn't see Earl signed on, but I missed... Remember last week we were troubling Earl Muscle about his birthday was too early. He announced it too early, and I slipped me Thursday night because his birthday was yesterday. And so he reminded me, all the chatter you had for me last week, Saturday, that I was too early, you still messed up and forgot my birthday on Thursday. And so, Earl, I do humbly apologize. And for that, we'll sing for you, special, just for you. The only person in the world that matters right now
is Earl.
Is Earl Mascall. Okay. So, if he's listening, Earl, we're going to sing for you. All right? All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And as usual from us in the studio, my brother Earl, may you live to be 101 and us 101 minus a day. So we don't have to see you go. May God continue to bless you with good health, strength, and of course, wealth. All right. Fellas, we got a packed program today.
Never without.
I'm going to stop saying that, you know. I'm going to stop saying it. I'm going to come here one day.
When was there not a packed program?
I don't know.
When was there?
I'm going to come here one day and say, I have nothing to say.
Well, and all you have to do, roll back a few teeth from a particular fellow.
You guys are not helping. You hear what Dilly says? When students reach class before teachers, it leaves room for trouble. So this message for you, you know.
No, I used to meet the students at the class.
No, but she's talking to you because you just happened to be early today.
No.
Stop defending, man.
No, I'm not defending. I'm just trying to say that I am trying to make sure I don't carry a particular label all the time of lateness. So I show up only a few times. Okay. Got to break the cycle.
Yes, man.
one out of 100. All right.
It's okay. You'll see it more often.
Okay. So we had Earl Muscall was actually listening. He said, "Thank you, fellas, for the song. You're welcome, my brother. Hope you had a wonderful day yesterday." All right. All right. Let's get going. All right. Let's get going. Where am I? Here we go. All right. Update on the Rest Haven matter. The only update I have is that I went looking for the file at the court registry.
It's not there?
Can't be found.
Of course you're not going to find it. You hear what the project is called, Tulu? Rest Haven. That file is resting somewhere.
How many the file is not there? Oh, the Premier said that he would have paid out substantial amount of monies. That record should be there for us to see.
The file regarding all of the court documents, the judgments, nowhere to be found.
Same thing happened when we set up the Commission of Inquiry. We went to see we got the files, but the file which showed the specific payments of money for the Marion Heights building, the contractual arrangements with the $10 million which became $9 million which became 19, you could not find the actual receipts and transactions to say that this money was paid. Everything else was there, okay, but the critical thing, you want to see the money, couldn't find it. So what do you think happened?
Somebody removed it. Somebody removed it from the public's view, so we don't get to see or recapture.
But not just anybody, somebody who has an interest in the public not knowing.
Not only that, somebody has unencumbered access that they can simply check out the file without trace.
Okay.
All right, so I was really hoping today that I will bring the actual figures to you, down to the cents, but that is not possible. All right. I don't think that file would ever resurface, given the gravity of the situation regarding the payments, etc., etc.
But the Premier has a moral responsibility and also a legal responsibility to make sure that that information is there for the public. We are the ones who are saddled with that payment. And so we must know exactly how much we have to pay.
Well, we know the ballpark. The Premier would have indicated recently, as early as, Tuesday when he had the press conference, that is now circling around $30 million. We were pegging it at the last reported number in 2022 by the audit report of 25.48 million. That's the last figure we had. And we were thinking, perhaps, given the information that the Premier that was caught in the audit report, that the government had issued treasury bonds to pay off the RAMS portion of it, which is 22.5 million, that interest payment of $1 million a year would have come down significantly. And so I couldn't understand, and I still don't understand, how you go from 25.5 million in 2022 to 30 million or thereabouts 4 years later. And if they had paid what they said they paid, it wouldn't have gotten to that. It's impossible to have gotten to that figure. Because you would have removed 22.5 million from the equation. And you wouldn't have gotten up to what the Premier says. And we can't verify because the file is missing. We cannot verify because the file is missing.
The thing is,
It's missing from where it should be, but somebody has it.
the Premier is so dishonest that it is difficult for any right-thinking person to accept anything that he says when it comes to figures or anything on Navis, to accept it as face value that it is true until we see the evidence.
Right.
So maybe when he said that he paid substantial amount, he did not pay any substantial amount.
Well, we can't verify without the file.
Okay, but
That
So-
is why the file is missing.
that's
why the file is
don't want you to know.
We can talk all we like, but we don't have the hard evidence. And the hard evidence is what you were just saying, Kel. How you get from 2022 to 30
25 and a half to 30.
to 30?
That's what the Premier said.
Having paid a substantial amount.
Yeah, it's impossible. And so until those figures, we can look at the figures and figure out what is what. We can only speculate at this point in time. All right, moving on. I should have started with this for us, but hey, it is what it is. I try to give you at least one health tip per month.
Oh.
This is a health tip for the coming month, which is tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. No, it starts on Monday, actually. Tomorrow is 31st. Yeah, so it starts on Monday. And when I give you health tips, I want you to understand, it's not a quick fix. These are lifestyle changes you have to stick with. Make it a part of your routine. All right? Don't wait until you start feeling ill or you feel you need to do, go back to, a quick fix remedy. These are lifestyle changes. And I want to talk a little bit about sarsaparilla because we have it here. We have it in the region. As a matter of fact, the sarsaparilla in the Caribbean and South America, by the way, is the best in the world. All right? It is very rich in the flavonoids and saponins and stuff like that. So I want to have you start using sarsaparilla as part of your regular health care. All right? I want to tell you why. All right? So let me tell you first how best to prepare it. You can get a 2-inch piece, a root, or if you prefer to measure it, it's about 2 teaspoons of the cut up root, and you boil that moderate heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. You let it cool, and you can drink that down as a cup of tea. Or if you want to make it even better, you add some high vitamin C fruit, things like guava and cherries, that you get a real boost from. All right. Now, sarsaparilla, in our context here on Nevis and perhaps in the region, has in the highest known concentration of iron for any fruit, any vegetable, any vegetable matter, maybe more specific, any vegetable matter. So if you are suffering, if you habitually suffer from low blood, well, which is basically you're being anemic, you can use sarsaparilla to reintroduce iron into your blood. And of course, iron is a central part of your red blood cells called hemoglobin. All right? So by introducing more iron into your diet, and this iron is very, what you call, bioavailable. It means that once it goes into your system, you absorb most of it. A lot of this store-bought iron is not absorbable because it binds with other stuff in your diet. Right? If you're drinking like a high calcium diet, the iron tends to fall out of it. So if you're suffering from low blood, get yourself some sarsaparilla. If you're anemic, you feel like you have no energy, get yourself some sarsaparilla. And it goes further. All right? Beside the iron, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory product. So if you have joint pain, we get old, we get joint pain in our knees, in our back and stuff like that. This is a powerful anti-inflammatory product. All right? If you are, of course, if you are beyond the age of 40, and you're starting to worry about maybe prostate cancer coming on to you, sarsaparilla shows evidence of reducing the incidence of prostate in men. If you have skin problems like eczema, psoriasis, a topical application of sarsaparilla helps you to soothe and reduce the inflammation on your skin. All right, so it's powerful in that sense. Antioxidant, we spoke about it a lot in the past, and this sarsaparilla it boosts your immune system. All right, so it scavenges what you call the free radicals, those things that cause cancers and all sort of problems with your immune system. The components of sarsaparilla will tend to reduce that effect, boosting your immune system. It also is very good in your hormone balance. If you are male and your little ting is bending rather than standing straight, it boosts testosterone, increases libido. And so if you are like
no, you don't send me. Don't send me. I know you. This used to be called speed up,
If you are suffering from limpness, bending,
not lymph nodes,
limp, if you can't keep it up as a male, it may mean your testosterone is a bit low because of age or injury, whatever it is. You may want to investigate using some natural product we call it now, sarsaparilla. If you are menopausal, menopausal women, the hormones are up and down. You can't get a rest because you're hot and cold, you're miserable, you're this, you're that. Sarsaparilla tends to kind of moderate.
So that's all work? Huh? And people don't say it's working.
Oh, we can't do that. Yeah, that's terrible.
That's it.
I thought the building was collapsing. Could you advise them to give us a little bit, because if that noisy hearing coming to your headset, to your devices, they're doing some work downstairs in the building, and that drilling sound is really powerful. So give us a moment while we get Tulla's gone to ask them to just give us a break on that. So I was talking about the menopausal women. The sarsaparilla tends to moderate that effect on you, and so give it a try. But you have to be consistent. Consistency is what is important. All right? So,
where do you get this sarsaparilla? Where can you get it?
You can get it, almost. I'm sure it's available here in the public market. I drink sarsaparilla because I love my good buddy Bob up there in Rollins. He ferments his, all right, and Let's give it a moment. Let's play some music until we get this thing sorted out, because I can't hear myself think. Forgive me.
One thing, we want we land. We want we say. Everybody to that we going hold on today. Hold on. Don't sell we birth right out. Need be small, we don't know what we bout. Only 36 square miles, we stand proud. We not give away when we shouting out loud. We want we land. We want we say. For our descendants, we going hold on today. To keep out our curry. Don't come to play. Nevis people rise up. We not give it way. To run in the house and pass the bill. Now we was in hands cause we feeling ill. We got rid of planters, no with my crack. Now my country want to bring them back. We want we land. We want we say. For our descendants, we going hold on today. To keep out our curry. Don't come to play. Nevis people rise up. We not give it way. Don't sell out Nevis for one family gain.
Okay, it looked like the noise has stopped for the moment. I hope it stays stopped. And we can get on with the show. There's a call coming in. Let's see who this is. Good afternoon, you on target.
Good afternoon. I want you to don't charge the telephone me this afternoon. For help me. Anybody first board.
All right, brother.
I'm going to buy clear for you this afternoon.
All right, brother.
Please go help me.
It's urgent.
I want to help you.
It's urgent.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I see here. Rhonda Brown is saying that she wants a case for Ivor. I don't know.
No. Rwanda doesn't need any.
No. This is what I say. I says. Rhonda asks that we send a case for Ivor.
A whole case?
Anyway.
You know, Kel, the sarsaparilla emerged as very popular from in the 70s. Very popular as a drink. And actually, when you went to a bar, you would see the sign up, speed up. And that the speed up, you know, this idea that it was an aphrodisiac, had aphrodisiac potential and so on. But in terms of the other health matters, I believe that has been lost in the process.
I think all we learn about it is, in fact, it's good for men who are struggling with certain conditions of their manhood. All right, so it's a good health. You can buy it on Amazon. Of course, the processed powder and all the pills.
Is that good though?
I don't think so. Fresh is always better.
All right.
And so if you are if you are able to receive or to get the fresh stuff, it's always better, and make it to yourself cup by cup.
I think I like the part. I think most people would like to know the whole idea that it is a powerful source of iron for people who are anemic, and so sometimes people are trying to find by beef and other kinds of things, beef, red meat in particular, which is not so very good. But I think sarsaparilla can beat the option.
All right, so we're moving on from the health tip. Back on track. Regional news, very big regional news, humongous regional news, coming out of Turks and Caicos. You know, just a little bit of history, or I should say political information. Turks and Caicos is still a colony of Britain, administered by Britain, and therefore they have a lot of the institutional strength of a British Commonwealth, British territory, overseas territory, and so they ain't playing. So the former premier of Turks and Caicos, a gentleman by the name of Michael Missick, who was the premier from 2003 until 2006, he was jailed on Thursday for 4 years. 4 years in the jail. Two other co-defendants are waiting sentencing next week. One is a cabinet minister, and the other one is a lawyer who is also a Missick. And the charges are bribery linked to the sale of government land and development, transactions and money laundering. There was prior a commission of inquiry, and they found that MISIC derives significant financial benefits from bribes and from, of course, another charge of malfeasance in public office. Now, I want to read something into the record real quick for you, so you understand these guys are not playing around up there in Turks and Caicos. All right, where is it? Here it is.
You mean the British government?
And it's called the Turks and Caicos Sun, TCI Sun. And it says, former cabinet minister McAllister Piper Hanschel found guilty of count 2, bribery involving Mario Hoffman in relation to land on Salt Cay. Count 2 states that Michael Eugene Missick and McAllister Hanschel, between the 1st January 2005 and the 30th day of January 2009, accepted inducements directly or indirectly from Mario Hoffman or related and connected entities by unlawfully corrupting payments or other rewards in the form of cash, credit, entertainment, and other advantages while serving as ministers of the Crown in government. Of the government of Turks and Caicos. And they said they acted in a way contrary to the rules of honesty and integrity expected of ministers of the Crown.
Kel, I thought Missick was in jail a long time ago. Missick was wanted by Interpol for a number of things. And
no, he was hiding out in Brazil.
Okay.
And then he was fighting extradition.
Right.
They finally got him extradited. He's been, and his lawyers have been delaying the court, forming all kind of tricks. Finally, the judge had enough and said, "You're going jail, and you're going jail today."
I thought, wasn't there a charge about using the public money for his personal business?
That all came out in the Commission of Inquiry.
Okay,
but the criminal charge, which caused him, gonna cause him 4 years of his life, were brought by the prosecutor.
Okay.
You know, acting on, of course, on their own investigation, in addition to what came out of the inquiry, the Commission of Inquiry. All right, so there is
some hope.
There is some hope, because I don't see much difference between what Missick did and what is happening right here on the
Okay.
I don't see much difference. You have land transactions involved. You have lots of big money rolling through. You have the Premier and his wife acting as the PRO and benefactors of Destiny. And so there's a lot to compare this to. And once this government exits, then of course heads must roll. You must have a commission of inquiry. You must have criminal charges leveled. But all those who have benefited illegally from the association with Destiny, all right? And so now you understand why, the Premier being a lawyer, he would understand. And by the way, Missick was also a lawyer.
Yeah, Michael Missick, I met him.
All right, so these guys are believing they're smarter than anybody else, but time longer than twine. Time is longer than twine. And all of them who think that they can use and abuse the government's purse, that can take advantage of their political positions to enrich themselves, there is a dawn coming, and that dawn is called justice.
But you know, Kel, in the Turks and Caicos, the British government actually shut down the government, shut down the process, and it's only a few years ago they had elections again, and all that time the deal was Missick and all this related corruption. But the question I want to ask, to follow on from what you just said, Kel, if it is that there are similar things going on in Nevis, well, what are the institutions in the Turks which work but are not working here?
The institutions, and you well know,
yes.
The institutions in the Turks is a facsimile of the institutions in Britain.
Yes.
They have very strong institutional support.
There's a colony still.
Yeah. So the same thing is in Angola.
Yeah.
On the Caymans, wherever the British. Bermuda. You know, you're not going to get away with these things so easily. Good afternoon, on target.
Hey, good afternoon, Daily.
Good afternoon.
And Tolo.
Good afternoon.
I like what you're saying today. And usually when I like what you're saying, I will call in and give my 2 cents. The reason why I'm calling in to say it last night and Thursday night, and I'm going to say it again. It's time for us to strategize and sit with Mark Brantley anyway, get locked up. I'm not holding back when I say that. I come here to Nevis in July, and I'm not going to hold back when I'm talking. So if you think I'm afraid of him because I'm in America, I'm going to come to Nevis, and I will voice my opinion vibrantly, beautifully, and the best I can, because those two need to be in prison. That's my input for today. This is Elvan Ellie. Take it however you want it, Mark Brantley. I am going to be standing and listening. Thank you, fellas.
All right.
So, so is it then that we need an overlord to watch us? So the fact that we don't have anybody to watch us, we just do as we like?
No, you see, there is enough. Pull the thing back to you and sit back. You keep running to the table.
Yeah,
right. All right. There is enough institutional strength here in context, in on paper.
Okay.
What we don't have is the will to implement what the laws we have passed are dictating. We passed good laws. We have passed anti-corruption bills. We have passed integrity in public life ordinances and acts. We have done a lot of work in the legislature part, but we have not done anything in the enforcement part. And that is a problem. Yeah. So you're giving the illusion that you are moving in the right direction in terms of what the UN mandates as good governance, but yet you're not implementing, you're not putting the safety guardrails in place, you're not putting the mechanism in place to ensure that the tenets that you are advancing in this piece of legislation actually can hold water. We have the Freedom of Information Act. When has Mark Brantley ever, or the Prime Minister, or anybody in government has ever acceded to requests for freedom for information? Why is not the chairman of the Integrity in Public Life Commission on both St. Kitts and Nevis independently investigating complaints of abuse by ministers of government? They can't say they don't know, because we've been voicing them. We have written, we have laid out complaints after complaints, and nothing is done. But we are paying to maintain offices. We are paying for boards to be seated. Every month you got to pay them a stipend to sit on a board. And they're making them, to me, they themselves are part of the problem, because they're making a mockery of our system. We are trying to hold ministers accountable.
For instance, the case by Cozier, where the misfeasance, malfeasance case by Cozier, how much time has it taken to even move from his filing to even a hearing? So my position is the delay is intended to push back. It's a form of pushback. I say, look, it's going to take so long, so you just as well don't bother.
Good afternoon, on target.
All for Mekila in it, so then about you on the cup. We hear about the same news with you, Camille, news and BBC, and all in place there too. And we want to know how are we now lock up them there. And them you don't hear about locking up. But through somebody and protect them. You understand? That's what's going on. But every time you see government rules, you know, people say, I want to lock up this, I want to lock up that. You see anybody get locked up yet?
No.
You see anybody get locked up yet? You think it? Not when them get locked up yet. So they go and the TV, because they put to run again. All right.
All right, thank you, sir. I think people are noticing, because it's just another call. Good afternoon, on target.
Yeah, blessed afternoon to the listening public. Question I want to ask you: who chose the managers for these institutions? Choose the managers them. Check these institutions and check who man these institutions and see who they support. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
That's $1 million point. The point you're just making.
Yeah. The system is designed to fail.
Mm-hmm.
There is no independent oversight body. There is no See, in America, in the US, in UK and Europe, there are groups, there are institutions, independent of government, watchdogs, they call themselves, that monitor government actions or the activities of ministers. In government, you know, if you're in a democracy, if you're in a renowned democracy like the British, the French, and those places, the government themselves has very strong oversight.
Yeah, I mean,
when you can jail a prime minister, because the prime minister of France went to jail.
Of course.
Sarkozy. Yeah, Sarkozy. The president of the United States, Nixon, had to resign in disgrace.
Yes.
So there are instances.
Just a few months ago, Kel, the deputy prime minister in England, the woman Angela Raymer, she had to resign because she underreported the value of a property, which meant that the government lost tax revenue as a result. I mean,
but it tells you
they're serious about it.
It tells you that it's not the smallness of the act; it's the intent. You intended to defraud the people.
Exactly.
And that is something they don't take lightly. Pandey in Trinidad went to jail.
Went to jail.
He had
$1 million in an account in England, and said that the $1 million was his wife's own. And the investigation showed that his wife, Omar Pandey, never worked a day yet, but she had $1 million in an account. And his daughters, according to this thing, they were enjoying themselves in England.
We need a new
kind of mindset, Kel, because there must be people to press for this. Outside of us, the political thing, you were mentioning the role of institutions, that civil society organizations and so have to step up. And because you see, Kel, if we say that you must have an investigation about a politician, it's so easy to say, well, oh, it's political mileage they're looking. Let the institutions establish their independence, and that they must call for these things and press the government to do that.
We're not going to get there.
We're not going to get there.
With the kind of people we have here. It's just, you know, even the court system is paid for by government. When you have that kind of control, I mean, it's very, very difficult to get justice without considering the political ramifications and all those kind of things. The only judge I know that has passed through this region here,
Ventos,
that hold the government to account, was Justice Ventos.
You hear what I say, he passed through, he just stayed.
and it is, how would they treated him?
But he didn't stay here.
That's a pass through mean. Yeah.
One of the things that we have to battle with is when Team Unity was in office, we know that they would have gone into I think it's the Integrity in Public Life Act, or so one of those, and the argument was they took out all the teeth out of it, okay? And so all the enforcement that was there, it was calculated for this very thing to happen.
But Tulu, I agree with you with that. But we also have the recourse of the Integrity in Public Life Act, which governs the Senkits Nevis. But even they are not acting on any matter brought to them. So all they're concerned about is you're filing your declarations on time.
That's all.
That's all. I mean, it's laughable. Completely laughable. I know a gentleman who filed a serious complaint with the AG, with the DPP, regarding the operations of certain institutions here on Nevis. And the serious crimes division of the police, or the, what do you call it, the
White
collar crime unit, has yet to investigate.
How long ago?
Over a year.
Really?
Right? And so it tells you, depending on who you are.
Exactly. But if it was you,
if I had a gun or a knife and threatened anybody, I've been in 1840, sorry.
And you'll be there for 5 years before they try the case.
So let me tell people this, right? If we do not change our trajectory in terms of how we administer justice,
collapse.
If we do not start holding ministers of government, prime ministers, premiers accountable for their behavior and stop excusing it, stop covering it up, we're going to be always on the back foot. the IMF report that's told us that 30% of our income is lost to corruption. I believe that that figure is even low.
I believe it's about 50%.
Let's go to the call. Good afternoon, Target.
Good afternoon. Gentlemen, as I listen to you guys, right, I can't get the thoughts out of my head about the last election with the St. John's, one of the St. John's boxes, where 16 extra ballots were found. They wasn't cast. And the Premier is brazen enough to say, well, I could give you 16 by 16 by 16. That is not the issue for me. The issue is how they got in there, the intent, who was involved. Not even an investigation. What happened to the Electoral Commission? Where are they? So if you even have these people in place, they're non-functional, which is not good. And you know what? They always work for one side. So one side will get away with it, and another side do the same thing, and they're penalized. Anyway, I'm hopeful. I'm one of the people who have hope.
Keep hope alive.
One day, that will come to an end. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for your call.
You know, Kel, there is this comment by Harry Truman, a former U.S. president. He says, if you get rich in politics as a politician, you're a crook. And then he goes on to say, if the richest people in your society are politicians, you have committed, your moral and ethical standards have gone out of the window.
The issue the caller mentioned and the one prior point to the same thing. It's an incestuous relationship. Where you have people appointed to boards, appointed to commissions, and they're all politically appointed.
And they're connected.
Let's take this call. Good afternoon, Target.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah.
Daly and Mr. Daniel and Tulu.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Daly, how are you, Mr. Daniel? Explain the role of the Public Accounts Committee and to let these young people in St. and Nevis. Because yesterday I was on a show talking about it, and it surprised me. People who on radio shows trying to set things to the people and understand the real working of the Public Accounts Committee. So I say that to say this. I want you all to explain it to these young people, because these young people look like they're just going up here and knowing nothing, you know. They're just seeing the system working and then understand how a government's supposed to run, walk in the sun, in the sunshine. See, please to do that for me.
All right, thank you. Now, if you look at it this way, every bank, local or international, every business, whether it's a big trading house or a small shop on the corner, everybody keeps accounts. They want to keep track of their debts and their income, the overheads, the expenditures, what they buy, what they sell. That way you can keep a track whether you're making a profit or you're making a loss. Or what do you need to do to change it? You can also, of course, use that information to determine whether people are stealing from you, whether money is being diverted, resources are being lost along the way. So it is a comprehensive way of keeping track of your business. Government is a business. It's a public business. And just like in a private business, you have to keep track of where the resources are going, where they're coming from, who's getting what and who is not getting. So that basically is the job of the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament. They hold the government accountable for how the people's resources are being spent.
And it's chaired by?
Right? And it's chaired by the leader of the opposition. And for a good reason. Because the leader of the opposition is supposed to hold the government to account.
Of course.
These are constitutionally mandated positions. But here on Nevis, because of how our parliament is structured, we have no leader of the opposition because there's only one member opposite. This is Janice Daniel Hodge. Another member independent opposite. So there's no leader of, you can't have a leader with only one person. And none of them are agreeing to each other being subordinate. So you have no leader of the opposition. On St. Kitts, the leader of the commission of the Public Accounts Committee is Mark Brantley. He's the leader of the opposition. So by design, he is to chair the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is the most powerful committee of the Parliament.
When has he reported on anything?
They have not been able to get seated ever. And it's about time people understand the reason why businesses have audits done is to ensure that the business is not being ripped off, that you keep in compliance. So why is it? And the most important of our legislative organizations, Parliament, you have nobody keeping anybody in check.
But you made a point earlier, Kel, about enforcement, and that is what we need. Because when you read the civil service regulations, the things are laid out very clearly. You know, if you collect money from the government, you have somebody else has to agree, sign off on it, and most importantly, on the question of tendering and so on, public projects should be tendered, and the government should see more than one option. But we have a situation in Nevis where hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on projects are being set aside, and you call your political people and they do them. And then the government, this government in particular, has not completed a project in ages.
The caller made a very, very important observation. And it is something that our educators cannot be allowed to get away with. Because you're asking the public to be involved in the process of electoral process, to electing leaders. We're asking our people to be responsible. We're asking our people to be patriotic. We're asking people to respect our sovereignty. We're asking them to be good citizens. But yet you're not arming them with the information to guide them to determine what is good and what is bad. Why aren't these kind of matters being taught in our schools? Why aren't these kind of issues being discussed with our sixth farmers and our fifth farmers?
But you know why, Ken?
Why is it that we are continuing down the same path and expecting different results of accountability and transparency when the people themselves don't even know what it means?
What you're talking
the
about.
caller mentioned that he was having a hard time explaining the importance of a public accounts committee. And it is not by accident we are bereft of information, because we have not insisted as a people to make sure these matters are discussed and understood by our people at the educational level, at our high school and sixth form levels. I knew when I left here and went to the US, I knew more about the US Constitution than I knew. I didn't even know we had a Constitution. I'll be honest with you. Hands on me in class, we ever discussed Constitution?
No, sir. No.
Never.
Lord, your history and your
We
geography.
did not know what our rights were.
No.
What our obligations as citizens were.
Right. And we started a students' council and so on.
Good afternoon, you're on target. Good afternoon, you're on target.
Good afternoon. If these matters got to discuss in the schools, what do you think will happen? You think anything like a nigger man going in a government? Can't happen. So they will not discuss in school until us, the voters, the parents, demand these things happen. You think them nigger man, they're going to do it? They want to keep us ignorant. They want to keep us foolish. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
When was the last time we would have had a functioning public account committee? I know prior, Premier Brantley at one point, as the leader of the opposition, he did nothing. I know that they would have given him an office according to former Prime Minister Douglas. Nothing was done. Government change. Douglas himself became the head of the Public Accounts Committee. He put no committee in place. Government change again. Brantley again is at the helm of it. And there is none. And then you explain already there is none in Nevis. So for some time now, we have not had that committee in place. And the government did and are doing what they feel like, because there is no checks and balances there.
But the information, Kel, from about Restream came from the audit committee.
From the audit, that's a year late.
A year late. So even if you're addressing the matter, you're 1 year behind. I think the last caller made the point that the reason for not doing it is that the present government thrives on people being ignorant, and so you're not going to expect people to get any better. There's an element in the British system, Kel, which is also the question time for the Prime Minister. You see that on a Wednesday? The questions come from left, right, and center, from people in the government and people outside of the government. And the question time is the most robust session in the Parliament, because the assumption is you're the Prime Minister, and this idea that when you guys play this thing, the Premier saying, I don't have an answer and I'll call back and so on and so on. In a Parliament, where all of the fellows are saying you're before the public, you have to have the answers. And it is a form of check and balance on the power of the Prime Minister.
Could it be that we need some changes? Because I listened to Sam Kanda on a program Friday, and he's saying that the Constitution that we have doesn't work the paper that it is written on.
He's right.
Okay?
He's right.
He's right.
He's right.
Okay.
Absolutely right.
But when asked what you'll want to see done to the Constitution, he basically wants out clause 113 out of the Constitution, and 2, he wants out this idea is if the constituency boundaries increase more than I think is 11, Nevis has to get 2/3. He wants that out because he see that is political, that is basically Nevis fighting.
You cannot leave any constitutional changes up to politicians.
No, of course not.
You can't.
Can't
no. That'll be a disaster. But let me say this. I've been watching very carefully the promotion by the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Drew, about the good works that his government is doing. The latest I saw was increase or efficiency in water distribution and those kind of things. He talked about the Bastia High School. He talked about, physical infrastructure works and stuff like that. One thing he cannot ever talk about in this present context is the government's access and recognition of freedom of information, integrity in public life, and anti-corruption legislation. He cannot point to any accomplishment other than passing those pieces of legislation in Parliament. He cannot say that 10 people were prosecuted, 10 people are under investigation, that references were, application was made to integrate public life to investigate X, Y, or Z. Cannot. Why is that?
Because none was done. Nothing was done.
Good afternoon, on target.
Forward, monkey, let that he run. No had no water in the week. They had to take and truck your water up there. Chadwell no had no water. Water stop morning, night, afternoon, every time, every minute. We don't water for Chadwell now. You understand? So I got some children up there and I don't go up there every week and every day. Sometimes I go to Westminster with bottle of water. You know? Not take her here now. With them loads of drive over the hospital and say they spend $50 million now. Visualization plans, Somebody need to get locked up, Somebody got some other money,
All right.
Well.
Thank you.
But you know what is even more dangerous, Kel, is this insidious view among the society that the society has generally moved to accept corruption and to accept these
but are they accepting it or they just don't know?
In some cases we know. It's both.
Yeah, I think it's both. But I would more weigh in on the fact that they simply do not know their own responsibility as citizens because they've never been taught. I was never taught. You were never taught.
No, we weren't.
Right?
We had to get.
If you go and ask a sixth former, what is the Public Accounts Committee?
Oh no.
No, they wouldn't.
But why aren't the teachers referencing these kind of conversations, just like you do in accountings or econ?
Mm-hmm.
These are auditing activities of the parliament.
They want to be political.
They want to be, but this is not political. This is civil. This is your civil responsibility to know and to teach. When I taught, I'm not a brilliant person, but when I taught, you can ask Adele or whoever, all the other people I taught. There was always a central theme, whether I was teaching English, biology, whatever it is. You must reference it to your own condition.
Yeah. Okay.
Context.
You have to.
Context.
Right? And so we used to have long discussions about how the role of government in our daily lives. So I was not advocating one political party or next. I was not even political. Right. But the idea is, as a citizen, having seen and experienced my own lack of knowledge about our own constitution growing up, versus what I experienced in the States. I mean, it was
did
eye-opening.
the students find that? Did you get students saying, I wonder where Dr. Daly, what that has to do with biology?
It has a lot to do with it.
You know, the students, because the general thinking is, you come to teach biology, tell us about biology. But the moment you infuse the responsibility of citizens, actually, in America, Kelly, I mean, you would be able to tell this. There is in high school, there is a course on citizenship.
Of course.
There's a course on citizenship. What are some of the responsibilities? Maybe we were coming close to that when we had something called civics.
Yep.
Maybe
but we don't have civics now.
No, we don't have any civics now.
And that's what civics was about.
Yeah. I mean, the responsibility of a citizen, and that, you know, how do you, some of the fundamental rules and laws you come. So if the police stops you, for instance, the only thing you need to tell the police, you must tell the police, is your name. And that's it. People don't know, so people get into all kinds of contentions with the law. I mean, even everywhere I work, I have had to get the police and lawyers to come and share when you're dealing with women with children and child support, some basic things about the law and their responsibility, even as a parent, you don't even know. Legal things and even outside of legal. So I am agreeing with you that we have a long, long way to go in terms of educating the people.
But the politicians, the crooked ones, okay, because I don't like to speak about politicians across the board, because I have dealt with different ones and they're different. But the crooked ones, they do not want you to know what your rights are. I remember while I was at Public Works at one point, I asked for the guidelines that govern the workers. And the person who was in charge of the Labor Department at that time said to me straight up, I'm not going to give you any. I said, why? He said, if I give you, you're going to squeeze the government. And so what do you mean by that? He said, because there are certain rights you have inside here that you do not have there. If you see this handbook, you're going to squeeze the government to get them. And I was never given that. And then we have a situation, you must ask the question, how many of us as citizens has a constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis? I never had one. And then they said that they're at certain place and you could go and purchase one. I've never purchased one. So I have never read the constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis. But I've listened to people discuss it and picked up a little bit along the line. So perhaps now we as citizens, dealing with the type of people that we are having now in governments, that it's time for us to arm ourselves with the information so we know what our rights are and what they are not.
I think in Barbados and Trinidad, there's a widespread knowledge of the Constitution and of government. I always recall being in Barbados in 2018 during the election, that's when Mayor Motley first won the government. The taxi driver could tell me, he spelled out the IMF program. He told me what was happening in education. He said there was corruption because the Indonesian government gave the government computers for children and they didn't get them. And he spoke at length, and then he was referring me to reading the Nation newspaper, page so and so and so, and he had them in his car.
They're informed.
And I'm saying to myself, well. And I remember just after I came back from university, I offered to do something with the taxi drivers in Nevis. I do it voluntarily, teach them and be aware of the cultural and historical aspects of Nevis. I don't know that goes on now, you know.
Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're on target.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them, man. You don't say good afternoon to me. That's good enough.
So you mean we don't count?
No, it's by default.
The head of the house.
Good afternoon to all the listeners. Tulu, you said something that just now. So you recognize right now at the match you have to blame at the politician. The politician probably got the people, but the machinery does. When you ask for the document, I know the politician asked, right? You hear me?
No, I didn't understand the thing you say.
No, you say he didn't ask the politician for the... So when Tulu asked for the document about his work...
Mm-hmm. No, he wasn't the politician.
He didn't ask the politician.
Mm-hmm. Politician got it neither.
So he's saying it's the institution.
You got a match in a day. You're picking up that daily?
Try again. You kind of coming in kind of...
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
You hear me better?
Okay, go ahead now.
Yes. That's when Tulu asked for the document. I know the politician asked for the document.
No.
Right. So then, you see the machinery.
Our government.
You get that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So right. So even if you pull on whatever the case may be, they have the machinery. Let us do an example. I got a friend, and I don't kind of time, but I have understand still because you know me know I don't nobody under the bus. So one head asking for do something, and you recognize that I want shortcut. So he said, no, I can't do that. So they bring in one heavy duty. They said, look, you don't know what? He said, yeah, me know. He said, well, he tell you when the floor why you disobey order. He said, I can't do that. He said, you're a civil servant. He said, yes, me a civil servant, but really and truly, the Constitution, we can't do that. So they had taken up and carried them back, right? I said, look, boy, I love you, you know. But you are the first individual never asked to do something. And you actually refuse me order. He said, well, you see, only I got there for 5 years. And the next thing now, when they say I have to go to whatever, and me, not the, you hear that?
Yeah.
And the machinery too, and it's organized when thing have something. There's a plenty people involved, and them alone. So then this and this. So I'm not going to start to happen now. When you think you're just going to lock up the politicians as well. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that connection is kind of iffy today.
I think there's a guy in Antigua right now in jail. I think he was a permanent secretary. And he did some stuff where that he was not supposed to do. And his argument went in the court, the minister directed me to do it. Okay? Where's the document signed by the minister? None. But he tells me and I follow it. So listen, let me tell you something. Your job is to follow the standing orders and whatever to put him in jail.
But I find that kind of harsh.
I
I find it harsh because if you are assuming, it's a big assumption that you knew what the public service orders are, that you have a copy of it and you have been indoctrinated into it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. So unless it's a case of blatant corruption or something like that, then I find that jailing a man for not having knowledge of the public rules of engagement, I find it a bit heavy-handed.
Permanent secretary?
Yeah.
Don't know? A permanent secretary don't know the job
you
description?
You know much public servants, public secretaries are simply put into place?
Tell him.
Well, they have a way to find what their rights are, what they can do, what they can't do.
Good afternoon, Target.
Yeah, good afternoon to you fellas, man.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to point out something that I heard yesterday and started out probably a program. The leader of it's Tuesday, the week. It was said that back in the day when the Thatcher administration was there, they received some aid money from overseas, England or Canada or wherever, to build a pier for Anguilla. And instead, he proceeded and built a pier in Sandy Point, St. Kitts, and called that pier in St. Kitts Anguilla Pier. But when the authorities then from overseas came down, that's when they really actually found out what was happening there in St. Kitts during that Thatcher administration. And Tulu must have heard that when he was listening to Sam Kandadem yesterday. I don't know if he did. You can say if he did. You can speak for himself.
I heard mention of it, yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's a part of our history that for me personally is the first time I'm hearing that. But it's recorded in the history books. I went and I looked it up myself. But right there on the scene, a person who was listening came in with the proof. But you know, when we listen to persons like the elders that was on that program, it's so ironic to see that these guys are like slide winding around the history. You cannot tell me some of these guys don't know that that incident was a part of that history when the Thatcher administration was there. Because they themselves, they appear to know so much things and appear to know everything, but yet still they say that they didn't know nothing about that specific piece of knowledge. And like you said, Daily Man, if we're not going to teach the youngsters now civics and the fundamentals, you know, our constitution and stuff like that, man, 20 years from now, when those kids grow up, we're going to be in the same position right now today. And I mean, yo, Danny, one of you guys, man, send me if you can release your information, I can talk to you guys off the air. Any one of you guys, 3 of you all, I can try to take your number off the air. Danny, you're the one that know who I am. And I would implore you, man, if you can, you know, say your number and I can reach out to you off the air so I can have chances to maybe talk to you, you know, behind the scenes.
All right.
All right, I'll appreciate that, man, and I'll leave it there for now. Thanks a lot.
All right. Okay. All right, we got to move on because time is.
I was to ask.
We got to move on.
Just one last thing. What was the response, given the fact that you were probably one of the first teachers or the earlier teachers to infuse that level of reasoning, citizenship, national pride, and so on? What was the response of the students like?
They were sucking it up.
Okay. You need to know.
Okay. I mean, if you speak to my former students,
they were rushing to class.
They will tell you some of the most interesting discussions we ever had nothing to do with the academic curricula. Okay. Nothing at all. Right. This is how excited they were to learn their rules, their rights and responsibilities as citizens, their place in this world.
And you were still able to complete this.
Of course we did.
For biology.
Of course we did.
Okay.
All right. So
there is a thirst for it, really. There is a reservoir for it. A receptacle, really.
The funny thing is, I started teaching in 1998, and I became into power in 2006. From 1998 to 2006, I worked as a teacher, a graduate teacher, making $3,200 a month. And when I inquired from HR why I was being paid so little, because I have a PhD, they said, you can't separate, we are paying for a bachelor's, not a PhD.
That was incorrect, because in one profession where they pay by qualification. If it's only one profession they pay by qualification, it's education.
Well, they told him it's part of his qualification they're paying for. We're paying for this part.
You're supposed to lock off what you do. You're supposed to lock off that part you bring.
Yeah, lock off that part.
Anything about bachelor's, you lock it out.
Lock it out.
So the point, I guess the point I'm trying to make is we need to encourage more professional teachers. We need to encourage the profession by growing the
not just encourage, help to facilitate.
Let me finish now, man.
You know?
We need to get back in the day, teachers were more knowledgeable. They were older, they were better qualified. Even when I say better qualified, more rounded. Because they might not have gone master to get bachelor's and masters, but the teachers training, but they wanted to infuse in their students as much a broad-based education as possible. Life skills, you understand? These days, it's a paycheck. What turned me off from teaching, I would have a student graduating in June from Cape, or even fifth form. And September, they're in the staff room teaching, right next to me. I mean, that, anyway, moving on. Let's go to this part of the program.
Material, material.
Condon. That's a reservoir material.
Provided by who?
Now,
him.
The government.
I would have received, I've been, for a couple of weeks, I've been watching a situation at the Charlestown Pier, the middle pier. And it finally broke me. Because I don't like to rush into reporting on things until I get a better handle, whether it's something consistent or it's something persistent, whether it's something that is a one-off. And I was satisfied that this was not a simply one-off. This was a practice that has taken hold at the Charlestown Pier. There are 3 piers in Charlestown on the waterfront. The one furthest up to Gallows Bay, that's called the Fisherman's Pier, the middle pier, and then the main pier. So 3 piers. And the fishers, as we know it, they use the middle pier. All right? Now, what got me very angry is the fact that in the last month or so, the Nevis Ear and Seaport Authority has started locking the main gate to the pier, to the middle pier, opening only half of it in the daytime. All right? Now, what follows from this is the fact that a lot of our fishers normally would back up their vehicles onto the pier and offload their heavy canisters of oil and fuel and supplies and all that, ice. They now have to park away from the pier and carry down their supplies to their boats.
A heavy load.
Unnecessary. Unnecessary. I mean, up to now, I cannot understand the logic of NASPA and this government. Why they would want to implement such a change. If you ever had to carry those big canisters of fuel, I have several of them. Believe me, I'm not entirely weak, but those things are enormously heavy. And if you now have to carry them 20 meters, 40 meters to your boat, unnecessary hardship imposed on the fishers. I want to play a tape for you and to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So bear with me as I load it up here. And you can, those of you, good morning again. This is, a direct view of that's the wrong one. I think the engineer mislabeled these things here. Maybe it's my fault too. Okay. Let me make sure this is what it is. Good morning again, folks. We're here at what should have been the Charlestown Fisheries Complex location. You will recall that in 2013 we were about 4 months away from groundbreaking, and one of the arguments made by the government who stopped the project, the CCM government, was that this site was. Good morning again. This is a direct view of the so-called Fisherman's Pier, and you can see the condition of it. It gives them no use to the fishers. And as I pan around. Good morning again, folks. We're here at what should have been the a direct view of the so-called. No, this is not right. You can see the condition of it.
Explain it. Look at it.
Use to the fishers. And as I pan around, you could see the middle pier, which is supposed to be used as the. Let me stop that. The engineer, I think, mislabeled these things here, and so I think he loaded both at the same time with the same name, and so my apologies. Good morning again, folks. We're here at the what should have been the Charleston Fisheries Complex location. You will recall. Good morning again. So no, this is not right. Of the so-called Fisherman's Pier, and you can see the condition of it.
I could explain it.
No use of the fisheries. No, the engineer really screwed up on this one. He has mislabeled both. I mean, he has labeled both things the same thing, loaded the same thing twice.
Okay.
So I do apologize for that. Okay. But let me explain to you. Turn that off. Turn this back on here. Okay, I do apologize for that again. I should have checked before I started the program, but I didn't. So my apologies for that. But what the initial video was showing, and you can go to my Facebook feed, it's on there, my Facebook page, is the fishermen them loading their stuff by hand, walking from their vehicles parked outside the gate, through the gate, and loading up. And it really bothered me to the point where, you know, so I would have had a conversation with one of the fishers. There were some local fishers around, but they didn't want to be interviewed. They didn't want to be on camera. But I did speak to one gentleman from the Dominican Republic, and he was very angry, rightly so. And basically what he was saying, listen, I've invested $100,000 in boats and engines. I've lost a boat with 2 engines on it because at evenings, the gate is locked. You have no access at evenings. And if the sea turns up overnight, then the boats bang into each other. They bang into the pier.
Trouble.
And you have a difficulty getting the security to open the gate so you can move your boat to safer mooring. Unconscionable behavior. Despicable behavior. Unnecessary behavior. How can you have a situation existing like this without the government taking action and saying, no, this is intolerable? Why is this even a thing? We used to fish before they put the gate on a couple of years ago. I used to love going down to the pier at evenings with my rod, some sabiki rigs, throw a line in the water, catch a few fish, some jack, some cavalli. There were families there on the pier with me. There were young people, young girls and young guys with their hand lines. I remember not being so privileged in my early days of fishing, and you had your line on a can, a spray can. Spray can. Right now I've graduated to a reel and a rod, but you have a lot of kids down there which still remind me of my younger days. With the reel. And they see me catching using my new stuff, and they say, mister, you can give us one of those? And I will give them, there's a special rig called a sabiki rig. It's a line with about 6 hooks already pre-made with artificial bait on it. And they are so excited. Ingrid Forbes used to be down there with me at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
enjoying
the night out to fish on the pier. They put a gate and locked it off from us.
So you can't fish on the pier.
So you can't fish on the pier anymore. So. I lived on St. Croix, St. Thomas. I was able to access the pier in Frederickstead, the pier in Christianstead, you know, because it's public access. But here, where you're paying taxes, they're locking the gate on you and telling you can't go and fish in the pier anymore. Go off the rocks. Go up the bay. For what possible reason are they doing this kind of behavior? Now, I want to show you where the fishermen are supposed to go. All right, I'm going to show you. This is what I want to show you. The so-called Fisherman's Pier, and you can see the condition of it. It gives them no use to the fishers. And as I pan around, you could see the middle pier, which is supposed to be used as the Fisherman's Pier, but there are problems there also. As I pan around, you can see the condition here. By the way, this site was supposed to be the site of the Charleston Fisheries Complex, which the government blocked way back in 2013. And nothing is on this site. For perspective, this is Gallows Bay. As you pan around, this is Gallows Bay, Charlestown Nevis. And let me be careful I don't fall through these cracks. But again, This is what the fishers have been asked to use, and as you can see, it's of no use.
Let me get something straight, Daily.
Go ahead.
The gate that you're speaking about that is locked, is the entrance exactly onto the pier or the main gate that you have to park out in the road? Where do you park? You got to drive inside the yard?
You park by the gazebo on the apron inside NASPA's fence. When you're trying to go to the middle pier, yeah, you come through the gate bypass and you approach the pier, but you can't go down on the pier.
So you only could come as far as the gazebo?
Yeah, it's a little way in, about maybe 10 feet in from that, they put a gate.
Wow.
The gate is left half open so you can walk through, but you cannot drive through.
Well, because something's been wrong, something happening to the pier is having some structural damage?
No, and when I speak to the fishers, they're saying NASPA has never ever had a conversation with them. They just locked. I remember the day when when the gate went on, we were down in the night before, and they told us by morning they had already started the putting on the superstructure, and they were telling us this I better enjoy our last night because gate going on, and we didn't believe it. We actually did not believe it because we are in nobody's way. It's not a security risk. We never left the pier dirty. Everybody had a little cutting board and the buckets to wash down the area. It was never an issue.
So from the large to the small, this government keeps us in hiding, because every other thing that you speak about, even now you look at what's going on at the hospital gate. Has the premier came out and said what it is yet and who is financing it? I don't think I haven't heard anything. And so down to something as minute at that, which is significant, because I used to look at those guys lifting, even taking them off of the vehicle on the pier. You could see that they were under some heavy strain to get them off.
You know how heavy a gallon of fuel is? It's about 11 pounds.
12 pounds?
11, 12 pounds.
Really?
It's heavy.
So if you have a
so
10,
if you got a
5 gallon,
that's it, 35 pounds already.
What?
If you got, and most of the jugs where I see about 15-gallon jugs.
And you have to walk from up.
You gotta lift it up and carry it down. You gotta carry down your ice. Guys who are going out for a day and a half, 2 days, and they have to walk with tons of ice. I mean, it's unnecessary.
So the government provide a trolley that they can use to pull them down, cut them down?
You tell them it's in the last night inside.
No, there's no. They just put a gate on, and you have to make your way. It's just why the question must be asked: why are you making people's lives unnecessarily more difficult? The same thing happens in reverse when these guys are coming back from a day tired under the sun.
You have to lift up everything.
You're gonna lift everything back off and come back off again.
And if you have 100 pounds of fish, what happens?
100, you can start a count fish yet. If you try to use the middle pier, the main pier, every time you go down to the pier, you got to pay $2. Every time. And then the side gate is always locked unless passengers are going down in evenings. I have had the situation where I used to leave myself and my captain, back when I go to Captain Wade, we used to leave the pier at 3:30 in the morning when we go in deep sea fishing. And you always could never find the person on duty. He's sleeping somewhere. So you gotta be hunting around to find out where this guy is so you can open the gate. Why is the gate locked?
Is there anything in there to steal?
What? I mean,
but if you are going to lock the gate, knowing that this is that important, the fishers go out at different time of the morning, the night comes at different time, then you must make sure that there is security there posted. You have to make sure that they're there. So when the fishers come, you open the gate, but then again, you still do not give them access to go down on the pier.
So why not give them a swipe card or something like that so you could identify them as they come in? I mean, make people's lives easier. You know what I mean? If you were to give me a swipe card, an entry card, every time I put my entry card in, it's registered as me. All right? So they know if that's a security risk, it's me who came through at 4 o'clock in the morning. But these are simple things that
But
you
that's
can
not
do
hard.
to
That's
help
not
people, man. Fishing is not easy work. Fishing is hard work. And you go down to the pier and you see the kind of boats out there, some 18, 16-foot boats, going out there 10, 12 miles trying to make a living. And you're making their lives, so difficult. Unnecessarily so. So who's going to pay back those guys who lose their boats tied to the pier?
Nobody.
Because they don't have access to get to them when the sea rises up.
You're more at your own risk.
Your own risk?
Yeah, you're more at your own risk.
But what is the risk?
There's no risk to the Port Authority.
No, what I'm saying, the Port Authority is saying, I lock my gate.
You know what time people been down there playing dominoes in the gazebo and security come and lock them in?
And lock them in, yeah.
They have to go around Gallows Bay End and come around the fence.
The security they say it's time to go. This is the time that is.
Some of them might tell you, but others who are ignorant, they just lock the gate.
But
There's
then
no system. There's no system.
where's the regulation that says to the people that use that area? Because I know a lot of dominoes go on there. To say to them, the domino players, the domino team, whatever the association, that you have up to 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, the gate will be closed and you'll be locked in at your own risk. There is any guidelines that those there, Dr. Daly?
No. I never see one.
Well, then you can't lock me inside here.
You know, I mean, it just, there's something about people who want always to have people on their knees, have their knees on people's necks.
Yeah.
It says something. And you know, I was to say something else. The gentleman who spoke to me on camera about his frustration, he's a Spanish guy, he cannot speak English very good. But you get the gist of what he's saying. Back and forth, every day. Right? He was unafraid to tell the people of Nevis what he was suffering. The local officials standing back in the back.
Hiding.
Of course.
Eh?
They understand.
They don't want the conversation.
The alarm of vindictiveness they're afraid of.
You know, and so I admired the gentleman. I thanked him for coming forward. But I'm appealing because I checked up to this morning, and NASPA has not. I mean, maybe because it's me asking, but I asked nicely. I said they need to rectify this. It's unconscionable that you're going to treat people with this kind of disdain, you know, and making their lives more difficult than they need to be.
But Daly, when you're living in a country as a citizen and you are afraid to express yourself and to say, I am hurting in this regard, it tells me that we are no longer under democracy. We are under tyranny.
That's the idea. Then you get you to vote and just vote for them without thinking.
Good afternoon, Target.
That's the idea.
Dr. Daly,
Yes, sir.
while you watch the wedding, you see some exes now coming to NRP. So only hope that them people that are suffer now, we don't make up their mind what them are going to do in the next election. And Dr. Janice Daniel was excellent on Thursday. And if anybody here was me here, she to say, and Grassman, no candidate for this team supposed to Ali and our candidate supposed to win over 100 votes. Okay then.
Thank you, sir. Listen, I've fished in Charlestown all my life. I've fished in Gallows Bay. I've spear dive all the way from Long Point to Pinnies, down to Booby Island, all down through Oli. I've been fishing commercially for a long time. So anything to do with fishers and making the lives of fishers easy or easier, it's worth it. It's not costing you anything, but a sense of courtesy and community. Right? I was able to fish before they locked the gate at Long Point. I understand the security over there, but we used to fish over there off the pier. catch some nice jacks, Cavalli, you know, good fish. And they lock the gate, saying it's a security risk. Okay, fine.
But then again, you mentioned something about the card. All you have to do is give you a card and you know who is in there.
And I would say, I would
easy.
pay $100 a month for a license to be able to fish off the main pier over that long point.
Okay, you know every
And that's why I always say they ain't got no money.
But you would.
I would pay because the warehouse is closed, the offices are closed. It's a clear shot from the gate down to the pier. There are cameras down in the pier. There are lights down in the pier. We are better eyes anybody trying to smuggle anything than anybody else out there.
Security over
Security, right? But we have to be innovative in our thinking. We can't just be going by the status quo.
The old way.
The old way. We need to think outside the box, man. If you're trying to raise a few dollars to maintain the facility, 10 of us, $1,000 a month, you know, towards whatever it is. Because I really enjoy, and families enjoy, a night out just fishing. You know something, you don't catch anything. But it's the jokes and the camaraderie and the spirit. You know, you have to experience it to know it. You know, my second son is autistic. And I used to take him down to that pier before they put on the gate. And if it's one time he got excited, is when he going fishing with his father.
Really?
He's looking forward to
He's
that.
looking forward to that.
And to throw that rod out.
Oh, well, I used to try it for him.
Straight for him.
But when he started bringing in the fish, oh, jeez, man.
Couldn't believe it.
You know, we are denying so many of our young people an opportunity to appreciate the outdoors. We always customers say, oh, they're always on the computer, always on the iPad, all kind of this.
The chance to go fish.
And then the chance you get
You
to carry them out to do
you
something,
choke it.
you take it away from them.
You choke it.
Come on. We got to do better than this. We got to do better than this.
And then in addition to that, now there's also a plans to move the Newcastle fishers from their landing site to put them somewhere again where it is not conducive for boat landing. I mean, it is absolute madness that's going on in this country. It tells me that our leadership, they're not for us.
They never were.
These people they are doing everything to make life difficult for us as a people. And so, if we want it so, we'll continue doing what we are doing. And if we do not want it so, then we'll change what is there.
Now, this next slide, the Charleston Fisheries Complex location. You will recall that in 2013, we were about 4 months away from groundbreaking. And one of the arguments made by the government who stopped the project, the CCM government, was that this site was too much into the Charlestown to accommodate a fisheries complex. And therefore, one of the reasons given was that, you know, you're causing too much congestion and you destroy the beach and all that. But we're here. I took the time out this morning to come down here to show you the state of disrepair of this location. And you can see garbage is everywhere. It's as if nobody's looking after this location. As I move around, you can see this entire location has been abandoned, left to its own devices. The trash is everywhere, trees growing over. That is the perspective up there. And around here, somebody has a pile of old fish traps. This is what pertains now. This exact spot was supposed to be the fisheries complex for Charlestown. This was supposed to be the exact spot. This is supposed to be the pier, and of course the harbor in front, and Charlestown main pier in the distance. So this is it. This is the location. Nothing at all but garbage, overgrown trees, trash everywhere. Look, this is what we got from the CCM government in exchange for a $30 million Japanese-funded fisheries complex. The beauty and expanse of Gallows Bay in the distance. Just incredible location, and all for naught. I'm telling you, this government has to go. All right. What I'm going to show you next is a picture. What's on your screen is a signing ceremony, the exchange of notes, as they call it, between the Japanese ambassador and Premier Parry back in 2013. Oh, sorry, 2012.
For the fisheries complex.
April 27, 2012, for the fisheries complex. This was signed right at the site at Gallows Bay where the Charleston Fisheries Complex was to be built. And I remind you, this was a Japanese-funded project, $30 million project that would have moved the fisheries sector light years into the future. Light years into the future. All right? This government, the incoming government of 2013, the Vance Emery government, Mark Brantley as deputy premier, Ted Hobson as the legal advisor, Zook Jeffers as the Minister of Agriculture, killed this project. 4 months before groundbreaking, this is what they did. They pulled the plug on the Charleston Fisheries Complex development. And I want to read to you what the Premier's latest argument was regarding why they killed the project. This is recent. These are his words. All right? He gave 3 reasons why the CCM pulled the plug on the fisheries project. First reason, and I'm going to read you exactly what he said. Firstly, if NRP wanted to build a fisheries complex, they had nearly 7 years in office to do so. It never even started. Hold on. Let me read it again. This is last week. Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis, said this. Firstly, if NRP wanted to build a fishing complex, they had nearly 7 years in office to do so. It never started.
It never started.
Secondly, why would Nevis build a fishing complex in the very heart of Charlestown? The traffic congestion and no room for expansion. Second reason. Third reason. CCM was never against the fisheries complex. CCM said it should be built in a different location where a fishing industry could be built around it. That's why the fishing village of Bath was proposed.
You know, I have this from the time the Premier came to politics. I have made one description of him. And those 3 reasons there you mentioned, Kel, are exactly what I think. An amazing ability to talk foolishness in standard English. And that is rubbish. And not only that, the first comment is a lie. And I mean, that is why I say I give you guys a lot of marks for actually following and all of that. Because, you see, once I have concluded that people lack basic decency, I don't pay attention. But to suggest, but didn't you show the picture before with the Premier signing it? That's when we finished. That's when we took the time. Because they don't know what is involved in moving a project from concept to completion, they think it can be done in a month or 2. And
let me say this. Let me say this. 13 years ago, what we have at Gallows Bay is what we have now.
Same thing.
On your screen prior was the picture of the signing ceremony.
Yeah.
Where the Japanese ambassador came in from Trinidad and Tobago and signed on the dotted line, which is indeed a contract between the people of Japan and the people of Nevis.
And it's a gift.
To make sure this complex was not built, there was a letter written by the legal advisor, Ted Hobson, to the embassy and ambassador of Japan in Trinidad, threatening legal action if they proceeded. I've shown you the video of the site. The Premier said the most suitable location would be in Bath. But where in Bath is where the planning? The legal advisor also owns land on the same site in Bath where they're proposing to build this project.
You want any land sold?
But if you're familiar with Bath, tell me where in Bath there's a fish landing site.
Not now.
There was never been a fish landing site in Bath.
And Bath is a fishing village.
Bath has always operated from Gallows Bay.
Always, right?
Always. Gallows Bay is not in Bath.
So there was never any fishing landing
There was
site.
never any fishing landing site in Bath. For the reason being, the site that has a potential was just south of Van Radio, full of reefs, shallow reefs, just like you have over there at Hobart's Beach. Very hard to navigate, very tiny. Reefs just can't, it's very difficult to navigate. A very tiny area, on their cliff, by the way.
I know it.
So all the boats and fishers from Bath always use Gallows Bay, especially the northern end of Gallows Bay, close to where the fisheries complex was to be built. Bath has no history of any fish landing anywhere. The idea of using Charlestown, because Charlestown was the most developed for fisheries sector. You have an existing fisheries complex, although small, donated by the Canadians. You have the access to communications, water and power with no issue. You have pedestrian traffic. Charlestown is still the center of activity.
And moving out from the traffic.
Right? So if you're trying to convince a donor that you have selected the best site for development,
Those are the issues.
you cannot then come back and say, well, we're going to use the worst possible sector area. Because right behind that in choice was Newcastle Bay. You still have Long Haul Bay, Indian Castle, Cotton Ground and Jessops before you can even get to Bath. But here it is, the Premier saying Bath. As if by magic this is going to happen. It took us 4 years, from 2008 to 2012, to design the project. Full consultancy, EIAs, everything done. Cost over $1 million for the consultancy. The Japanese paid for that. The NIA purchased lands from TDC, adjoining lands, to make sure there was enough parking and any spill off from the project. Then you all this. I gave Zook Jeff was the Minister of Agriculture in January 2013, the project document, 404 pages.
Did he read it?
And I put it in his hands. And he said, my God, I didn't know what so much work I do. 4 years.
Did he read it?
And the project was to be started 4 months into the year of 2013. And these fools blocked it. Because according to Ted Hobson, he did not think, well, he basically said, this will be a feather in NRP's cap. We cannot have this.
But you have
this is what we get.
But he gets in name and the courthouse.
Let's set this call here. Good afternoon, on target. Good afternoon, on target.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Mr. Daly,
Yes, sir.
you remember Malcolm Gishard of blessed memory, who was the deputy premier?
Yes.
That was his intention.
That's right.
Arthur Anslin of blessed memory, that was his recommendation.
That's right.
And the premier came into politics asking us to do this one for Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
What name you think that fisheries would name on the NRP after Malcolm would have gone beyond? They named somewhere down a Pinners, Malcolm Gishard, something or the other. Malcolm was in full support, made recommendation, and he ran on a Malcolm Gishard ticket and refused to honor Malcolm. That wasn't about NRP. It was more about Malcolm than NRP because it started with them. And if them made the choice in respect of Malcolm Richard, that should have been carried out if what he campaigned on had any meaning to this one for Malcolm. Anyway, I am glad that we all would have our time in court. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, the caller has made some very important notes, because when I arrived for my tenure at Ministry of Agriculture in 2006, the project had already been on the desk since 2002. So when I got sight of it, I mean, of course you got so excited. But I was also charged with responsibility of verifying that the site chosen at Gallows was indeed the best site. So we did our own investigation. And it indeed verified what Malcolm had chosen. It indeed verified what Anslin had chosen, that Gallows Bay, Charlestown, was the best possible site. All right, for all the reasons I outlined before. All right, and for the Premier now to go and say, put it in Bath, he has made a recommendation to Bath, without considering the fact that Bath not even would have scored in the top 20 possible locations for this site.
It was never a landing site.
It was never.
So how could it become considered?
All right. But it is that history that we have to contend with. And so for him to now come in 2026 and try to say it's NRP fault because the project didn't start. The project was slated to break ground. We had already been having conversations with the chief contractor, which would have been a local contractor. We had already been in contact with all of the quarries for boulders and revetment work. This is the nature of these people. The nature of them. Nasty and wicked. Let's take this call.
They're rewarded.
Good afternoon, on target.
Yeah, the nigga man know who fault from what project not start. But who fault where the hospital project stop? Fault to be where we can't know. Because of the storeroom you put down in the hospital yard. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, we got to move on because time is really flying past. And we got a couple more things to cover. Now, Culturama is in the air. Somewhere.
Maybe in the last
Culturama is slated to start in July. And there hasn't been much of a
lead up,
to put it perfectly right. There has not been much of a lead up. But I had a very interesting conversation just yesterday, and I was told that in regards to the Soca Monarch competition, there has been some seismic shift. I understand that with these, well, I know for a fact because I used to judge competitions many years ago. There's a house band. Typically, a house band is a band that backs up the singers. They practice with them, sing with them, etc., etc. And I understand that the contract for that activity has been awarded not to a local band, but to Collision Band out of St. Kitts. Now, I have no difficulty with Collision, per se. They are good musicians, but they are jam band. These are people who jam on the street. They are credible local bands. I could name a couple of them offhand. Viral Band, Wave, another one, and that could have been contacted. I understand no conversations were had with them. The minister and whoever else is in charge simply unilaterally gave the contract to Collision Band out of St. Kitts. So where does it leave our artists? In our own festival, where does that, what does it say about us as organizers of our Culturama, where we are farming out so much of our work and keeping our artists in the dark? Now, I have no difficulty again with Collision coming and jamming on the road, but that's different to having a house band. And I would really want to hear the full story from the chairman, from my good buddy Abo, the past chairman, from the minister Eric Evelyn. Why Was this done the way it was done?
Who is the chairman now?
Swain.
Oh, I thought he was the CEO.
You know, CEO, he in charge, right?
No, but you do the talk.
Well, who's the chairman?
No. Normally you have a chairman and you have a CEO.
I don't know. I know Swain is in charge.
Okay.
And he's being directed by Eric. You know, and so I would have liked to have heard from any one of those gentlemen why this particular contract was given out to a jam band rather than to a house band. And why not look within Nevis before you look without or look beyond Nevis?
Not good enough.
Not good enough?
No.
Oh, okay.
There is nothing that Nevisians try to do is good enough for these people unless they have some sort of stake inside there. What one have the horseback, one under the belly. If nothing there for me, it's not good enough.
How is that different from farming out the last piece of land for the coffee shop?
Okay. All right.
If Abo is listening, give us a call, please. If Swain is listening or somebody can get to them, we would really like to hear your side of it because, you know, from what I've been hearing, that you guys have made a decision, and you know that decision need to be revisited, and all cards be put on the table to see and to make sure that our own local artists do get a little do.
Let me just share something with you, Kel, because I used to serve as the chairman, then the executive, and then the minister. What you do really, you look at all the functions you're going to have at Culturama, and you pick horses for courses, essentially. So you say, okay, the band that is going to play for competitions, Soca, Monarch, Calypso, finals, and so on. That's the local band. I remember one year the Calypsonians said they wanted a band from St. Kitts. And they said they didn't want Casanova. So I said, no. Let's use Casanova. And we use Casanova, and then you have, what's his name, the Hicks, with Grandmasters and so on. In the end, Kelly, everybody get piece of the action, but it was understood. The things that what you're talking about was for the home band. You know, it doesn't really, it has a lot to do with understanding the festival.
Good afternoon, your target.
Yeah, good afternoon. I got me older now. Because all the kind of band we got now, without any of them who we have for paper. From only a couple of a year. And then they're going wild, they too hard, then they can't pay for anybody. That's why you see they got to play music and still work. I mean, they have a professional band around here. Professional band won't work. They keep traveling and play here and there. You understand?
Mm.
So, then they can't get to go on the world stage. I mean, with people they be. But they got to come better. I hear to hear people tell them when they interview them how good the song. And then not enough song good. Because you can't get in the cell now. But they got it. You understand?
Right.
When you go get things sell and make millions of dollars, then you're going somewhere. Otherwise you're not going to be that kind of business. No, no.
Mm.
Them not going to go wild and say, I can keep going supposed to. That's how we see musical going today. You understand?
Yes, man.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
So, Kel, you see a band like Collision, Juve Morning.
Of course.
Juve Morning. Collision, should be on the road.
Collision is very popular as a jam band in St. Kitts.
What?
Probably one of the best right now, if not the best.
Yeah.
But it's not suited for a house band.
You know.
It's not suited for that. And I'm even surprised that they would even consider it. Because then you have to now change your whole genre and fit into something that you're not normally doing. I've heard the band Viral play. I've heard Wave. They're damn good. And I'm surprised that they weren't even considered.
You see, I need to know because we need to understand that under the Christian government, and especially Mark Brantley as premier, everything comes down political lines. And so he doesn't see anything which is neutral in the island of Nevis. He has successfully divided the Nevis into two, and now he wants to bring in a third entity to put us into three parts. And so, why? What the band from Brick Hill? What was the band from Brick Hill?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. You know how much trouble they gave Odyssey, to the point where they're saying that Odyssey was not good enough and they should use cultural armor for practice and this and that, rather than paying them what they own them. And so they discredit them. And so it's no surprise that they come back now and they're discrediting others, because in their eyes, nobody in Nevis is good enough.
Okay. All right. Got one more thing before we get out of here. You guys would have seen the Premier send out a notice that he and Mr. Brand and the young gentleman Delvin Clark will be traveling to New York to meet with the diaspora. All right, on June 16th. All right, they're in the Bronx, and I'm hoping that Nevisians will go out in the numbers and ask the questions, hold them to account. All right, because I would want to know that the people who have an interest in Nevis, whether they have a house here or not, will impress upon the Premier, if indeed he believes that this is the best development for Nevis, a development that can transform Nevis, and development that is safe for Nevis, that will not disadvantage Nevisians, release the development agreement. Release the development agreement. Now, you guys in New York in particular have elected recently a gentleman by the name of Mandani.
Mayor
Mandani. And he has become almost like a protege of social reform. Everything open and transparent. He's not hiding anything. He tells you exactly, and he's showing you the documents. If you now have become so accustomed to transparency and accountability,
that kind of leadership,
then why not ask the Premier, who many of you would have voted for over the years, traveled all the way from New York and Boston and Miami and Chicago. Why not ask him, Mr. Premier, you're being the PRO for this development for a long time. You have said to us that it's the best ever development. Then why is it that we are unable to see the agreement, what you signed us up for? Why is it we can't see it? Why is it the people of Nevis who live here and will be directly impacted by it in real time, why is it they have not seen it? What is in the document that is making you uncomfortable, Mr. Premier? Why are you leaving the people to guess? And then you say it's not true, and that is not true, and you guys are being hyperbolic and you're exaggerating. Why not release the document? You have released it to Dr. Drew, who has released it to the Oversight Committee. So what are we, the people of Nevis? Are we second class? Are we of no class?
no class.
That you do not trust us to interpret this development agreement in the correct light?
Have you read it?
You know, it bothers me that since December of 2025, he said he sent the proposal to Dr. Drew. He will send it on January 29th. Dr. Drew's committee has been in place now for over a month, 6 weeks. Why is it the people, which is the core factor of power in this country, supposed to be,
No.
are left out of the conversation? Time and time again, callers have been asking, well, is this true or not? The Premier keeps saying people can't vote, they can't buy land, they can't do this and can't do that. Show us the document. Let us determine for ourselves. Because the Premier is making an allegation basically that these will be different kind of citizens. That because they are different kind of citizens, they cannot vote. And they cannot buy land outside the zone. What could go so? Foolishness. You want Dr. Drew to sign on the premise that this is a Nevis development, as if his role or his responsibility as the Minister of Security and immigration does not matter? Just sign? But the funny thing is, Mr. Premier, you gave that authority to the Prime Minister. And that authority is recorded in the SSC Act itself. You gave him that oversight.
Yes.
And by law, he doesn't even need to have your authorization for that, because by law, he has that authority. But you gave him, through your own writing, access and this determination over Nevis lands, how Nevis use the lands in this particular legislation. And I'm saying to the Premier, I'm saying to the people in the diaspora who will be going to this meeting, hold the man to account. Yes. Don't let him come to a 2-hour meeting and talk for hour and 45 minutes.
And then 15 minutes a question.
Right? And, you know, what bothers me, this is a publicly funded trip. Taxpayers of Nevis are funding this trip. When in a town hall he was asked whether he will pursue a town hall and invite the diaspora to have a town hall in the diaspora, you know, he said, it's too expensive to travel and he can do it by Zoom. Well, if he's if he's using that premise, why not use it now?
Do it now.
No.
Why not do it by Zoom? Why are you taking taxpayers' money to promote your party? And look who is with him. The young man there, who school children say like a bang people. He like to bang women and things like that. He's supposed to be the successor of Spencer Brand. This is what we come to. Huh? Using our money. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, Target.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daly.
Good afternoon, sir.
I just want you to look at the wisdom of this thing. We are wanting. Well, we take this whole thing over to St. Kitts and put it in the federal government hand. We want them to sign okay. Just sign okay. First of all, we say what to do with them. We're asking them to sign. We want them to sign okay. And every chance we get, we cuss them. Every chance we get, we blame them. It tells me that we have not learned anything from Mr. Sim Daniel. Mr. Sim Daniel, one of the phrases I remember him by. You can't make noise and catch monkey. If you keep on a cuss people, how you expect to get them to do what you want them to? I mean, you see the brilliance in that? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, the other thing is looking for the support and you're hiding the proposal. You can't go here in Nevis. You're going to the Bronx. I got a cousin in the Bronx. I'm going to call you and prepare because that same town got some acreage down here.
Uh-huh.
And me believe this is a Hibanian land, and me believe he got a little interest in this. So, everybody who got somebody, make sure call them, and I believe the people in divisions in New York got sense. Only here in Nevis, some people think that nobody got sense but them. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You know, Kelly raised the issues very often, and I share that view all the time. It happens at the press conferences with the Premier, nobody asks him any pointed questions. And then you go to town hall meeting, and then you'll have a parade, and then he will say it's an happy fault. I am, like you, I am urging the callers to go prepared to hold his foot to the fire. Why is the agreement still very private? And where in the agreement is the protection of the citizens? And where in the agreement, if any, there is personal gain? Where it is?
What I find troubling is that the potential developers would have said clearly they do not trust government. They want a zone where there'll be little or no government interference. They made it abundantly clear. And then when you have the leader of the government is working inside out, upside down, to support and to facilitate the same people who said to him, I don't trust you. Something got to be wrong. We have to ask the question, what, if anything, he was paid? That's a question that we could ask, because I cannot see anybody who would be insulted in the way that he was insulted, because I was insulted when I heard them say that they want to have nothing with government and government should be treated like they're criminal, they're rapists and murderers and what's not. They made it abundantly clear. That is how they see our premier. That is how they see our prime minister. When Janssen is saying that he wants a zone for himself because St. Kitts and Nevis is high crime, and he wants a place that is secured for his people, his 10,000 families, separate and apart from Nevis. And the premier of Nevis is going to say to me that I must say Destiny and Nevis as two separate entities coexisting together. I, in my own little brain, has been asking, what, if anything, he has been paid? And if somebody asked me if he was paid something, I tell him I firmly believe that he was paid something. Can't prove it. But nobody's going to do this, like this. He, somebody close to him, has been benefiting big time, and it does not matter it doesn't matter to them what happened to the rest of Nevis, as long as at the end of the day, their bank account or their benefit is so great that it will outweigh anything that will happen to the people of Nevis. And so whether you're living in Nevis or living anywhere else, and you have any respect for your premier, then I ask the premier, how could you do this? How could you sanction having these people in here when they say they don't trust you? How could you sanction having them when they say that people like you should be treated like criminals and rapists and gangsters? How could you support that? What were you paid? And then somebody asked me the other day, the premier saying that, promoting that we should take $100 from Destiny a month. That is what Destiny offer us. How much Destiny offer him?
On that note, one more thing, we're going to play this video just for little kicks.
Oh. Seriously, boy? I gotta go teach guys.
Fire style Nevis Peak Lava!
Janice?
It's time we put a stop to this.
Janice and Obi cannot stop us!
I say me ass.
We're putting something together.
see.
I'm keeping away from AI.
Boy, I almost pitted myself when I did that there. It's a good thing I wasn't. Let's take this call here. Good afternoon, Target.
We could see the man economical policy opposed us moving to poverty. We could see that the social policy intend to put us in slavery. And what we are sitting here do? Well, let us rebel. Home and abroad, let us rebel against this man and his stupid policies. They got to hell with these policies. We rebel jet. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Tunu, what you thought of the video?
I am just laughing. I love the part where 1 point from Janice knock him down. Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, on Target.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, on Target.
Dr. Daly, listen, watching that on big screen, right, makes me look like I'm in the movie. I love it.
You love it.
Have a good weekend.
All right, thank you, darling. All right. Good afternoon, on Target.
Good afternoon. This is Livingstone Williams, a.k.a. Stoneman.
Yes, sir.
I wonder why the Premier doesn't want to say what is in the proposal. Well, one of the reasons is that these people propose to build an unscalable wall from Long Point to Indian Castle, which means that nobody would have access and they would have their military patrolling this 24/7. And does anybody feel that this would be the only zone? Because this SSD spreads from St. Kitts and Nevis. It's for St. Kitts and Nevis. It's just not for Nevis. So if they want to fool people, let them fool people. And it's obvious that Dr. Drew and Mr. Brantley are not reading from the same book, because they are both diametrically opposed to what the SSD is saying. Have a good afternoon.
All right, thank you, sir. All right.
Janice stronger than Obi. Obi put in so much of fight. So much fight and get so much of licks. And Janice come with one hand and knock down the Premier. we have a powerful leader.
we got some real talent, because this is next level animation, next level development, and it's wonderful to know that our young people, especially in this particular sense, can put together such a creative presentation. It tells you that, you know, all is not lost. There are people who are paying attention, people with the kind of creative skills to make things happen. And since the warfare these days, the political warfare, is fought on Facebook, on social media, this will go a long way into conveying a lot of messages into a short movie frame that makes all the sense. Because this is a battle for the heart and soul of Nevis. This is Superman versus the Dark Angel. All right, so I do appreciate the people who put this together and made it work. You know, I mean, I laugh because it was like a Marvel comic. If you're familiar with Marvel comics, with Batman and Superman and all that, we got our own superhero here in Dr. Daniel Hodge.
I reach, my commendation to all of those artists who put out a number of songs defending Nevis, and then this person took it up at another dimension, and so keep going.
Good afternoon, on Target.
Well, Dr. Daly,
Yes, sir.
you know, see the movie coming up on social media, but we believe me grasp what takes place. So these are the questions I go ask. How much money was spent on that?
What are you asking me?
We don't know.
What are you really asking me? I didn't create it. I don't know.
Remember, during COVID, thousands of dollars was spent on the movies industry.
Millions, not brother. Millions.
You find on the net?
$3.6 million to be exact.
Right. So you find on the net, right?
Mm.
It's not past that.
Right. I tell you, you New York people of them. You see, I want thing to say whole Premier Brantley foot to the fire. But if Premier Brantley now answer the question on them, you get it?
Yeah, but you still have to hold him to the fire in the voting booth, because if he's not answering your question.
You ask the question and then he just answer anyhow, when it's a Premier Brantley answer the question, yes, I answer, and you get the answer. So at the end of the day, you still not get it.
Yeah, but but I don't think I think caller, he perhaps underestimate the intelligence of the audience he's talking to, because those who are listening can clearly see the evasion. Those that are listening will clearly see the deception and the lies. So if he thinks he's getting away scot-free, he might fool some people who are sycophants, but he's not going to fool the majority of people who are looking for answers.
Exactly. So that's why sometimes I tell you, Premier Brantley, people are listening, So, if you don't answer me, people are listening. You get the point?
Of course.
Okay, then.
All right, thank you. All right, folks, that is it for today. We are done. It's now 3:33, almost 3:35. We had fun today.
Let me thank the workers downstairs to cease their work and to give us a chance to do the program.
Yeah.
We want to really reach out to the boss and his workers to do that, because either they would have continued, would have had to go, or they gave us a chance to continue. So we appreciate it.
All right, thank you for that. So, folks, we.
One last. Make it short.
Yeah, I know. Quick. To answer the last caller, that little video, I understand, yesterday was done by a young fella in Jessups, in his own home. He ain't cast a thing.
Okay.
All he casts is a young fella's talent.
That's a beautiful talent he got.
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, last word in, and we out of here. I hope you had fun with us today. I hope you learned something from us today. I hope we were able to expand your understanding and knowledge. I know some things sounds redundant and some things are repeated, but sometimes it's necessary to remind people of what we have lost and where we need to go. All right. Take care of yourselves. God bless you. I'll see you next week, Saturday, same time, same station. Join us on Thursday evening for Tell Me, and we will catch up to you then. If you are celebrating anything, be careful out there. A lot of crazy people on the road, so just be careful. All right? See you.
One say, we want we land. We want we say. Everybody to that we going home.